Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So, a lot is going on right now. I don't really know where to begin with everything, but I think like the main messages right now is that as of yesterday, and information is coming in by the day, okay? There is a rapid release of information and truth that is happening on the back end that the rest of the country is not privy to, okay? And the information that released yesterday is essentially that the last FBI director, okay, who worked under the fake presidency of Donald Trump was Andrew McCabe, okay? So Andrew McCabe was essentially fired, okay? And he was the last one, okay? So that's what they're telling me as of yesterday. They're telling me that the last person to man the ship of the Bureau of the FBI was Andrew McCabe. And what year did he leave office? It was 2018. What year are we in, guys? What year are we in right now? We're in 2025. And we've been wondering why there's been no justice and what's been going on with the corporations. I remember receiving an email when Katie Porter was leaving her seat talking about the corruption of the corporations and that it has gone too far and she could no longer pretty much carry out her duties. And I think many of us have wondered what has gone on U.S. soil, what's happened to the food, the farms, the weather. And they're telling me yesterday, okay, February 26, 2025, that the last person who was working for the FBI was Andrew McCabe. And we have not had anyone since because Donald Trump was not actually the president. So the evidence that he did not have the presidency, okay, that it was not his win, was in the secret binder that held the Russian intelligence that was part of the Mueller investigation. That specific evidence was part of the final indictments that were coming in for Donald Trump's family members, okay? His inner circle, I'm hearing. And so there were indictments that were on the docket when Bill Barr was appointed AG and came in and he basically disrupted and closed out the Mueller investigation, okay? And we witnessed, I think, the uncomfortable state that Robert Mueller was in and William Barr. We saw a very odd exchange. It almost just felt like, I mean, just intuitively, Robert Mueller looked like he was under some type of spiritual attack. He did not look healthy, okay, to me. And he looked like, almost like he had been silenced, okay? That's the energies that came up for me. And I'm sure as I'm talking about that right now, many of you probably felt the same way. So we now know, because on record, Gina Haspel, there has been claims that Gina Haspel has stated something in regards to knowledge of the insurrection and overthrowing of the Capitol and our country. And there were, I believe, in quotes, something along the lines of, it's a go, okay? Around that time frame, I had a very specific dream that her and Mitch McConnell had a written agreement or deal that was looking really bad for the country. It looked like they were going to do something really bad. They were overthrowing our country in some way. And in the midst of that dream, I saw an encounter between Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi, okay, which at that time I believe she was, I don't think she was Speaker of the House, was she Speaker of the House at that time? I'm not exactly sure what her specific title was at that specific time, but I remember they forced her to sign a contract, okay, in the dream state. And I watched that happen as well. Now, that was in 2020, I believe. So, in hindsight, now I'm understanding they're telling me some type of an agent at this time. And I think I had a lot of people coming in as clients and commenting on the channel, even during my lives, you know, kind of, I guess, saying, I think you have intelligence, like, in your community, or they were making things like, I think that there's something important, Amy. And I'm now realizing that I was being shown intel due to, they're saying, my rank at that time, due to my work on the channel, and they're saying, and my vested interest in these attacks, okay, on our country soil. So I was, I guess, accessing intel at this time. And I thought it was just my psychic abilities, okay? That's what I thought at this time. And now I'm realizing that I had been moved into somewhat of an agent because we no longer had anyone, I guess, essentially working in the same way we once did for the FBI since 2018. So this was by 2020. I was essentially sharing this information with the channel, and that is where I think I began to create almost like they're saying a dualistic chain in command for, they're saying, the Bureau. So it makes a lot of sense to me now, because I know that I have been, or have felt like I have been in Manhattan and have seen a lot of things, okay? And it's all being done, obviously, through the military portals, I'm hearing. And this is what posed such a great threat to Donald Trump, was that I held the key to specific information that they didn't want to get out, and I was getting it out, okay? To large audiences at that time. So essentially, I was working, I guess, in some way as an agent, okay, for the country, even though I wasn't under any type of contract. And that's why I had another client who had come through, and he was also, I guess, providing information during my client sessions with him, which was via Zoom. And he was talking about his different trips with his private jet company. And he claimed to be Air Force, okay, active duty Air Force, with a high-ranking boss in the Pentagon, okay, who knew who I was and watched my channel, okay? That is verbatim what came out of his mouth, okay? So in the midst of everything going on, as of yesterday, finding out that the last person to be working for the FBI was Andrew McCabe, it's starting to put together a lot of pieces for me, because I feel like I have had interactions with Andrew McCabe through the system, okay, within the last several years. But I didn't understand what the heck was going on in Manhattan. So everything in Manhattan has pretty much been a mess. And it feels as if Christopher Wray was not really the FBI director, because he was not appointed by an active, like a commander-in-chief. And the evidence that Donald Trump was not the commander-in-chief, he personally destroyed at the same time as the insurrection, or right before he left the White House physically, even though he still was commanding an army, okay? And he did that alongside of General Mike Flynn and General Milley. And so he was still commanding a back military, even though it looked like there was a transfer of power that happened in the media's eyes. Now, this is the stuff where I think me and Joe Biden got a little confused with each other. I don't even know how to talk about this, honestly. Like, I don't even know. I had information that I shouldn't have had, okay, because of my rank in 2020 and 2021. And I didn't know that I was this rank, even though I had CIA showing up to my Patreon meetups, okay? And even though I had CIA coming in as clients and telling me they were CIA, and I saw them too. I would see them in my freaking TV. I would see them around me. I kind of knew they were around me. It's not like I didn't know, you know what I mean? But I didn't know that I was any type of an agent or rank. I remember getting a message through this device, not even knowing that it was through a device, that, you know, if I continued on my channel, I had to have my own team of agents. I would have to have my own assigned team of FBI agents. I had agents going through my neighborhood, and I knew they were agents because they were in like uniform attire. They were in like street attire. They were very clean cut. They had like khaki shorts, you know, black sneakers. And, you know, I had seen several of them, including one I had encounters with twice in front of right by my house, and one at the store with her. So I knew I was around people, but I also knew I was around, you know, the other group who was infiltrating me actively. So I was privy to information which I was talking about candidly on the channel. And when I was trying to read into what was going on with the post office, because I don't know if many of you remember, but Donald Trump brought in DeJoy, okay, to be the postmaster. And part of his role was to completely dissolve the post office. They were no longer going to have a post office. And they were doing this right before a national election. And so this was like a huge red flag. And I thought, we're not going to have an election. In my gut, I was like, he's just overthrowing our country. He's never leaving that White House. This is the end of our country. That was my gut. That was a lot of the messages going out. This is the end of the country. Like, they're going to announce their one world order, and it is done. The United States of America is officially done. He's crashing the post office. We will not have an election, and I'm feeling this is not too good. Now, in the same interim, I'm also reading and getting messages around the CIA trying to figure out a way to get Donald Trump out of the freaking White House, okay? And so I might have stumbled into some information around them trying to get him out of the White House. And so what happened is that when Joe Biden got into the White House, okay, through whatever ended up happening, I was in the Oval Office, okay? I found myself in the Oval Office with him, okay? And he was being surrounded by a team of people. Like, he was kind of like under attack, and there was like something going on. And he didn't know why I was in there, why I could see him. I don't even know how to explain this to everybody. But he didn't know who the hell I don't think he knew who I was. And I didn't know why I was in the Oval with him, around him, like witnessing things. I felt like I was connecting to them with messages, because the minute I would announce something or put something out on my channel, then Joe Biden would make an announcement about it within like I want to say within 24 hours, they would be announcing something along the same lines of whatever I was talking about. So it was almost like I was guided to get out messages, and he was guided to continue those messages out. And so I would even make comments like, that was quick, like, look at how fast they were able to get this message out. And so I knew, in some regard, intuitively, that I had a direct tie to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, okay? But I didn't understand who I was at that point in time, even though I was surrounded by agents. And I even had FBI as clients as well. So I don't know. I guess I didn't know. Nobody told me who I was. And so I think I was a certain rank at this point in time. They're telling me I was a private, okay, by this point in time. And I had a lot of military clients. I had a client come through who mentioned someone she was actively having encounters with, who was an admiral, like one of our highest ranking admirals, who was in the White House regularly and commuting back and forth, okay? So I know I was around our intelligence, but I knew information that I don't know if even Joe Biden knew, because I don't know if he was able to access that information at that time. So there was like a bit of confusion. Now the Air Force is coming in as part of that chain in command. And I don't know if they were breaking the chain in command, because I saw Air Force giving me a ring in the dream state, like I was being honored for something. They gave me a ring, but I never got honored for anything. So I, like, in real life, like, that never actually, like, the honor never came through at that point. And so I knew I was around Air Force, but, like, I didn't know what the heck was going on. So I guess what I'm gathering right now is that I was probably a pretty high military rank and was privy to information around things that I probably shouldn't have, like, in their eyes, I should not have known. But I was also something else that wasn't being recognized in the correct way. So I had information around probably another situation with the 2020 election that maybe has not really come to the light yet. And so they're saying he was acting as president, Joe Biden. Okay, he was acting as president, but they're saying the highest ranking officer under him was coming in around who I was as a result of what was going on within our other ranking generals, okay? But I didn't reach a rank of general until 2023, because that's when they told me I was a 1-star general. And that's when I officially, I guess, became a general. So I was climbing up the ranks through the Delta Force program while we were under attack by Russia, by Russian intelligence, and I fell behind enemy lines. And I've talked about this before, but through the V2K set or through the Air Force intelligence, the chipping, whatever the hell this all was, it felt very connected to Elon. I felt like we were being infiltrated by the day, by the hour, by the year, ever since Donald Trump was in that White House. And so we were watching a lot of our intelligence, I'm hearing, slip away. And so I essentially was not on the team that was like, they're commanding out, okay? The generals that are working under Donald Trump. I'm not essentially following their orders or their commands, because I'm working for the president and the United States of America. So I was working for the acting president at that time. So I think the whole point of this story is that we haven't had anybody like actually like that has been like really appointed, I guess, by a president, okay, that has been fully elected into the White House since the Obama administration, okay? So Obama is essentially like the last sitting president due to everything that happened with the Trump White House and the crashing of the post office and everything else that has been going on. And so as a rule, I guess, so to speak, or as protocol, it defers back to the highest ranking general, which then referred back to me at the end of 2023. Right in the heart of us going through a war with Russia, North Korea, and Saudi Arabia, okay? And United Emirates, okay? So United Emirates overthrew our Navy ships. And they had over 24 hours notice because I interacted with whoever that was. So I know that they had the notice. They have essentially, Trump and his generals and his people have been overthrowing our country. And right now we are in a place where we have to kind of like backtrack and realize that we haven't really had anybody like truly working for our country in like a really, really long time, even though it looks that way. I mean, as of right now, we have a rigged or pre-planned election for 2024 that was fully orchestrated 6 months in advance. We have a Stormy Daniels trial that was not real, okay? That was completely staged in some way to make it look like we were going to get some type of justice. I'm hearing they were paid off, okay? They're saying the judge was paid off. We have a mess, okay, in our country right now. And Congress is supposed to be adjourned indefinitely because all of those House seats and Senate seats are not actual seats because the Electoral College was completely rigged, okay, for this election. This past election. So right now, the military is not supposed to be following commands by Donald Trump's command, okay? But they're getting communications from whoever he has appointed, which I'm hearing is Kellyanne Conway. They're getting their communications in another way. And that's how the commands are going out. But the chain of command is supposed to be going in through me. Which I know sounds so insane, but that's the God honest truth. So I'm like every day having to figure everything out with this freaking headset and all of the people who are trying to traffic me and own me and buy me and infiltrate me and hurt me, on top of people who are trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And there's hit monies coming in for me by Donald Trump. There's like false investigations into me, false claims about me. They have people calling in the feds, making stuff up about me. And people don't know what the heck is going on. And everything right now is like, not like what it's supposed to be. Everything is a freaking mess right now. So the truth of the matter is that the highest ranking general is the one who has to give the commands, okay? They are giving the commands for the United States of America. And the U.S. military is not honoring they're saying they're not, that's not true. But I have not physically been contacted or communicated by them. I have the sun coming in. And as of yesterday, I'm being told to pull over because I was on a main highway. They pull over because I was being trailed by somebody. And I knew I was being trailed all day. I tried to get out of the area, and the place I went, I think they knew it too well, or they were able to infiltrate it in time. And then I was being trailed. So then they asked me to pull over. I had to get into a town, and then they had to get me into a safe space. And then they had to figure out who the heck was trailing me and how to get them off of me. They're telling me I was supposed to stay in this town with my daughter and stay overnight. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't even have the monies to even stay in a hotel room right now because of how heavily I've been infiltrated. Right now, we are really in a very strange freaking place. So I keep seeing a Leo coming in. I feel like Robert Mueller is like a very, very key witness and person to what's going on right now. He is a person, but I'm hearing he's been silenced. And The next person would be Andrew McCabe, but I'm not even allowed to talk about Andrew McCabe because of what he got involved with. So I don't even know, like, I don't even know where to go, because I know what is going on with them, but like I can't actually like talk about it, you know, like I'm not able to really talk about what's going on. But I can tell you yesterday on the highway that they basically told me, well, somebody said, why aren't you contacting the police or the local police? And they said, we can't get law enforcement involved. We can't get the local police involved. And they said, it came up that was not true. That was not accurate. There's a lot of people in these headsets and military portals that are just actively lying to protect Donald Trump or protect their group or protect whoever it is. And so you have to always check in and make sure they're not lying, which is like a whole other form of warfare. And the only reason I know is because I've been around them for so freaking long. You have to question everything they're saying and if it's real or true. And they said, why can't you contact local police? And I saw Putin's face. Like he was in the police stations forcing these cops to do illegal things, to hold over their head, to use as, to frame them. They showed me a vision of Vladimir Putin forcing them to take drugs, to do drugs on the job. Okay? That's what I saw yesterday for a local police department. That the police departments are fully infiltrated, at least the ones that I have gone to or I have attempted to go to or are in my area, are actively being infiltrated by Putin. Okay? And they also are giving written communications with including blacklists, including my name on blacklists, that are telling them they cannot go near me. And this is not true. The blacklists are illegal. Okay, so all law enforcement police officers are allowed to come near me, but they're worried because they've been framed for crimes now. Okay, so that's the problem that's going on with our police departments. So we're wondering what's happened in LA. We're wondering what happened with all these fires, the police departments, the land grabs. We're all trying to figure out, and we have Russians that have gotten into our police departments, oligarchs who Donald Trump gave free passes to. Okay? That's coming to the light right now. So they're telling me there's an issue with the local police and that I have to get over and pull over and try to get into this town and not come back to where I'm actually like usually am around because of the security issues of the area, because of Elon Musk and because of the skies. And they were supposed to shut down all of Elon Musk's space tech. And they were supposed to ground all private jets because many of these private jets are accessing this illegal weapon system that is infiltrating our DNA and is part of the human hacking and cryptocurrency. And so these elitists are using this technology to deter us and to keep us from speaking our truth, from getting content up. I just spent an hour editing a video today. I spent all this time on it. I uploaded it to Reels and they blocked it. They blocked it for a fraudulent reason. And then when I went in and checked in on the device, I found like a young kid, like an 18-year-old kid who blocked it, who was screaming, and he was paid off by Russians. The Russians are in our YouTube. They're in our content. They're in the content creators. They're also taking monies from us. Okay? There's monetization crimes that have occurred against YouTube content creators because we haven't had a working FBI. Okay, since 2018. So there's nobody monitoring these corporations. So they went rogue. So when all of a sudden our YouTube content ended up on Russia's YouTube, which is called RuTube, with millions of views, those were all monetization crimes and content crimes, putting our content on a foreign government's, foreign country's website that was not approved and endangered my life. Okay? Somebody saying I'm a bigger fan in Russia than I am here, you know, which is like, I don't know if that's true or not. I have justice coming in around that. But anyways, it's like, this is what's going on. So now I have had all of my money stripped from me through Oleg Deripaska is what they're showing me. And that's the person I saw doing a handshake with an FBI official to essentially end my life. That's when the kill contract came through. And that was in August of 2021. They said she would be gone by September, and they shook on it. Okay? Now, at that time, I was already a private, apparently. I didn't even know. Or I was some type of an agent moving into that because I started to hear music around that time frame. Going into 2022, I would hear graduation music, and I didn't know what the heck that was. I did not know what the heck that was. I didn't know what that was until 2023. So, essentially, like, they're telling me I have to do all the FBI hires right now for Manhattan. And for all of them, I have to do the hires. And I'm trying to figure out how to get these other appointees out of the FBI or to get them out of the portals. Because Kash Patel is not an appointed director. Okay? None of them are appointed. So we have to figure this whole thing out right now with our neighboring countries, our allies, okay? We have to figure it out with our allies, who Trump is actively trying to infiltrate by the day. He has actively tried to infiltrate Italy, England, London, whatever. The British. The Buckingham Palace. Macron, did I say Macron yet? Macron, he's getting Macron on board. Within 3 days, he's been working on Macron. Germany, through Deutsche Bank, they just put in a whole new money trail through Putin's accounts to Deutsche to press forward with a new German military that would essentially aid them. This is the truth, guys. This is what's going on. And so now I have to get Deutsche Bank shut down. They have to get all their accounts seized. So Germany has to take out Deutsche Bank. And that's why all of these environmentalists were like scaling the walls of Deutsche Bank. It's like they already knew what was going on. That was like a couple of years ago they were doing that. So let me see if there's any other messages right now. I think right now we are in the moon reverse. So we're coming out of like a very deep fog right now to bring everyone back into alignment because people were not getting the correct information at all. We have not been in alignment. Like half the stuff that we have seen and witnessed is setups, staged events. It's not even real, a lot of it, okay? I've seen stuff on the back end that they did with Jack that would really piss you guys off, okay? And they've done it for a lot of things. They're just doing whatever they want. That's how they act. They act as if they are, and they see if they can get away with it. That's truly who they are. So people have to wake up that they're all just a bunch of freaking actors right now. And that they're really not in these positions at all. Donald Trump is a 0 rank. He's a 0 rank. He hasn't earned any rank. 0 rank. 0 rank. Bill Barr is pretending he's something he's not. He tried to give him a rank. Bill Barr has been stripped of everything, okay? The United States of America does not recognize Bill Barr right now. They do not anymore, ever, again. He is stripped of his rank. They do not recognize General Milley. He is stripped of his rank. All of the generals that followed out the commands of Donald Trump with the insurrection, okay, all of them are stripped of their rank. Any of them that were part of the Ukraine war plans to attack Ukraine as part of his military map that he unveiled at his golf course in August, September timeframe in 2021. Anyone who was aware of that military map, that was a map to attack Ukraine, which essentially is what I was ushering in his one world order, okay, which put us in a coalition force with Russia, a secret coalition that was not done above board. It was not done above board. I have the 5 of Cups around that, and there's something around eggs around that. I think like an egg operation. I think it's something with the eggs, like a baby operation or something that they were carrying out. I know I'm a victim of that directly. Let me see if there's other messages coming in around General Milley. They're trying to cover up General Milley right now, okay? There's an active cover-up going on with him, but I witnessed him working against our own country in coordination with Kim Jong-un. And he's going to say, oh, well, I held rank, but I think I was actually a higher ranking general than him at that time, because I found him doing something he wasn't supposed to do. And the next day, he came on camera and did and at his next press whatever event, he said that we stand by Ukraine now. He changed his whole tune around Ukraine. I was helping Ukraine. Okay, that's what I was doing. That's what Joe Biden was doing. Because they created a false timeline to go after Ukraine. You have to understand, they manipulated time and space to create a war that was never even supposed to exist or happen, to coat their own pockets. And they used the black budget. They used military funds and monies that were not theirs, okay, to fund this coalition, to coat Trump's pockets and all of their friends, Israel's pockets, the Saudis' pockets, okay? This was a crime operation. It was not carried out above board. And that's coming in as a misallocation and misuse of funds. And there's a lot of money in the black budget. And that's why nobody could talk about the black budget. And the black budget is connected to Project Bluebeam, which is connected to Bill Barr, which is connected to the alien technologies. And I have seen an alien that they have hurt. And I've tried to save the alien in the Pentagon somewhere. I've also seen this connected to Pornhub. Pornhub is a United States operation. I think it's connected to the Canadian MK Ultra programs. And this is part of the sex operations. It's through Pornhub. And this is how they brought in all of the incels on, okay, through Andrew Tate and his network, which is a crime network, and brought them in to do sex operations on people who posed a threat to Donald Trump and his regime through monarch mind control. And many celebrities start getting these tattoos of butterflies. That's them. And they're turning people like me and all these people that pose a threat to them into sex slaves. And that was part of their global trafficking operation, also tied to Havana syndrome. And General Milley has to take responsibility for that. He has to take responsibility. I'm holding him accountable for that. He committed treason and conspiracy to defraud the United States of America. And not only that, he covered up Havana syndrome within the Pentagon. And I do not stand by that general. I do not stand by him because of what happened to me, because I am a direct victim of this. And I am a high-ranking officer. General, thanks so much for all of your support here. Likes, shares. Thank you for sharing the truth with your friends, family, and helping to enlighten everyone as to what exactly has happened to our country and why Congress has turned into a freaking shit show, okay? Why they just scream all day long and nothing ever changes, okay? It's because these people are not actually in these seats. These are Russian assets, rassets. Donald Trump was told to freaking get the White House cleared out today. They said all of his teams had to clear out the White House. That was this morning. They were instructed to clear out his things out of the White House and lock the freaking doors. That's where we were at this morning. So, thanks for all of your prayers, support, love, and blessings. Thank you so much for subscribing. I greatly appreciate it. And all of your donations. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your donations. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye.